Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the fun show here at Big TV. I think Michael is playing the weather report.
What is the weather report? What's that song?
Huh?
That song we were going to play.
It's called We're Having a Heat Wave. Tropical heat wave. The temperature's rising, it isn't surprising. Okay, that's good enough. And now,
Okay. Well, everybody knows what that
it's
song
always
is.
hard to figure out, well, not always, it
That's
doesn't
what it's
happen often, but what do you refer to as Independence Day weekend when Independence Day is on a Wednesday?
I think it depends upon when you can get the days off.
When you can get the days off. And if you're really lucky,
Preceding or
or
fall.
you run your own business,
Yeah.
you take Friday through the next
There you go.
Monday off.
Friday to the next Monday.
You just take both weekends
That's
and
right.
be all set.
All right, okay. That's pretty good.
Well, since we've been here before,
Yeah.
Justice Kennedy showed his true colors. Jerk could have waited till November
He
to
could've.
resign, but he didn't
He
because
didn't like
he wanted
being
to.
called a moderate.
He wanted to screw the American people. Thank you, Ronnie Reagan. That's the last insult of Ronald Reagan to America. And so now we have the prospect of even in the most ideal of worlds, if we were able to impeach the current occupant next January, we've already lost the Supreme Court for the next
40 years.
generation.
Yeah.
Generation. He's looking at people who are very young, so they'll be there a long time. That's
Yeah.
his number one criteria.
But that's dangerous because these people, they're
They
very
might
young.
they might morph.
Right.
They might
It's too long to put up with that crowd in the
they might pull an
White House.
Earl Warren on him.
It's possible. I mean it.
Well-
he could end up shooting himself in the mouth, see?
But in the short term, you can count on Roe v. Wade disappearing. You can count on gay marriage disappearing.
You got to tell people what Roe v. Wade.
I don't have to tell people what Roe v. Wade
There's
is.
a lot of people out there.
If
that
there are
don't.
people who don't know what Roe v. Wade is, they're too stupid to be turning on their television.
Wasn't that about when they had that big flood of molasses in Boston?
Is he trying to
Yeah.
turn my insult
Yes.
back on him?
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
Okay.
It's not
all
going
right,
to work.
Okay.
In any case, the other thing is that we'll probably lose separation of church and state.
That's
And after all, this is a Supreme Court that hardly anybody noticed that last week they legalized gerrymandering,
yes.
which basically throws democracy right in the toilet.
But wait a minute. But Alabama has 7 different ways to prevent voters from voting. 7. They listed them in the New York Times. And I won't get into this
And
a
if
lot.
necessary, they'll make up new ones.
Well, that's the best line of all. Okay.
But this guy, the current occupant, it suddenly has dawned on me that bedrock, the thing that annoys me the most, is what a world historic class hypocrite he is. Just the most phenomenal hypocrite who's ever set foot on the earth. He's spent the last week railing against Harley Davidson.
Right.
He made the ridiculous comment that everybody who ever bought a Harley voted for Trump. Oh, good. You're glad to have Hell's Angels and the Phantoms and the Outlaws. But, my people are not going to be happy if you build your motorcycles anywhere else.
What about
Harley
Stanley
should never-
Steamers or something like that?
Harley should never be built anywhere but America. Donald Trump, in his entire business career, has never sold a single product made in the United States of America. They're made in China, Taiwan, Tibet, etc. And his precious little daughter,
Ivanka?
yeah,
Okay.
she has not sold a product made in the United States either.
And she got them all preserved for her in China, a whole
It's
bunch
all
of
right for Trump Industries, but Harley, you can't do that. On the other hand, our former senator and secretary of state might be losing a little money these days because in response to Trump's tariffs on Canada, Canada has imposed, it's not the only thing they've done, but they've imposed a tariff on ketchup,
ketchup.
which seems awfully specific, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Ketchup. And Heinz is down like 8% or something. Or no, Heinz is only down like 1.3 points or something.
Well,
But
what about
another-
pickle juice?
Pickle juice?
Yeah, that's up.
Pickle juice is being used for some reason out of the blue in more and more cocktails these days.
That's true.
They have pickle juice behind the bar now.
Well, you know, what's that?
That's true.
Sonic. They have a pickle flavored.
Do they really, or is that a joke?
No.
Man,
What's
I assumed that was a joke
Oh.
from that dumb character in the.
Oh, I'll check because
Yeah.
they named off 2 other flavors that sounded odd in that same ad. So I'll check that. Okay.
Yeah, it's some
I
sort
saw it
of
real quick.
some sort of frozen drink
Yeah.
that they have or something. And this guy is always
the
his
2 of them.
his role. Yeah, but the one is the stupid one.
Yeah.
The one is Trump, you
Yeah.
know, and he's the one who says, you know, my pickle frosty is just great,
Yeah.
you know. But they are putting pickles in cocktails.
Okay,
I mean,
you-
pickle juice.
you
in
beat me
cocktails.
to it again as usual. You have that comeback every time.
You mean you were leaning towards the bars stocking pickle juice?
Well, I
Is
was
that-
thinking about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You were going to do that. All right. Well, I have good news for you,
Go on.
Michael.
Good
Something
news.
that's going to make you happy.
Oh.
How about you? Will it make
don't
you
know.
happy?
She doesn't know
I
yet.
don't know what it is.
Well, that's good. Okay.
Wynn Resorts is down over 8 points.
Oh.
They're making a major crash, which is funny because they removed Wynn's name.
I was going to say, didn't they take his name off it?
No, they took the name off the Everett Casino,
Okay.
but the company is still Wynn Resorts.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
why. He's theoretically no longer associated with it, but it's
But isn't it his company?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, just because he stepped down doesn't mean he sold his stock.
Yeah.
So he's the one losing money, you know. But it's not a moral judgment on him. It's that gambling is tailing off in Macau. All
Tonight-
the big gambling people were making the majority of their money in Macau over the last decade or
Oh.
so. And I hope that Edelman bastard is losing money too.
He isn't losing money. He
Well,
I
as
think he
we-
bought another newspaper in Nevada.
As-
How can he lose money?
As we say, it takes a real idiot to lose money running a casino.
That's but
To which you responded,
our friend Trump.
gone bankrupt three
Three
times
times.
running casinos. After all, a casino is a license to print money.
That's right.
Oh, speaking of which,
Money.
no, speaking of a license to print money, the Marijuana Control Board, or whatever it's called, approved the first retail outlet for pot today.
Oh, today they, okay.
Yeah.
Weren't
Finally.
they supposed to have opened yesterday?
In
No.
theory, yes.
Yeah.
Because that's a
But-
Sunday. Well,
No, it
stores
was the
open.
first.
They're not
Sunday.
really selling anything, though.
No, they won't be for a while, and this is out in, I think, in Western Mass. Now, the interesting thing is a place that's already a medical marijuana dispensary and grower, and the thing I find, I don't remember where it is, but it's somewhere like in the Berkshires or something like
Okay.
that. But the thing I find the most interesting about it is that the man who runs this company, he's 25 years old.
25.
He's been in the business for 5 years.
So he says. That's what he admits to now. Yeah. Okay.
Good point. I
Yeah.
hadn't even thought
Yeah.
of
When he was in junior high, I saw this kid. Yeah.
I mean, he's been licensed for
Oh,
5
okay.
years.
Wow.
Okay. Well, that's.
So it's, it's coming along. I will say, however, this guy was on one of the local talk shows over the weekend, and he seems like a very reasonable guy who has well thought out responses to all the questions that he's asked, the head of this
Yeah.
this board, and such a contrast to the Gaming Commission.
Yeah.
The Gaming Commission is so embarrassing. And I'll tell you, one of the things that comes to mind is why perhaps there's such a difference. The Gaming Commission was appointed by Duval Patrick. This commission was appointed by Charlie Baker.
I heard that the state police are going to have to advertise to get enough men to go out in there and protect all those cars and Logan. They're losing a lot of people on the forces there. Did you know that?
Well, I mean, they're
State
all
police.
retiring under duress, right? Is that what you're trying to quietly
I
say?
hesitate to say anything like that.
Well,
I wouldn't.
apparently you did.
Yeah.
These are the best. Aren't they the best? They have nice uniforms and they
They've got nice
Yeah, nice
uniforms.
uniforms, yeah.
got nice. But they're
Nicely
tough.
pressed.
They stop you. It's tough though. They're very tough.
Well,
But they're resigning while
the
they're
one
being.
thing to say about the police in Massachusetts is you seem to be significantly less likely to be shot by some cowboy in Massachusetts.
True, I would agree
I
with
mean,
that.
in so much of the rest of the country at the moment, it appears that every cop is issued a badge with the number 007 on it.
007. Okay.
You know,
Yeah, that's all right.
and every once in a while they slip up and they shoot somebody other than black folks.
Don't bring that up, please. I don't
Remember the
want
guy in what it was Florida or something who pulled a person over and the lady seemed very nervous, and he said, "I don't know what you're nervous about. We only shoot black people." He thought he was being funny.
Yeah.
He was not being.
No.
That's a terrible. I don't like that story.
No, you're not meant to like that story. The whole purpose of telling that story isn't to not like that story.
You know, there's a lot of people actually who don't even are not involved with shooting so much as they just commit suicide.
Yeah, they say that's up. The suicide rate is up.
Suicides are up, bad.
Yes.
Kids and
Particularly kids, right?
yeah, and vets. A lot of vets. They're still. Because when I call up there, I always get this long description of the line I should use if I'm thinking about doing something like this. It's all right. I don't mind. I think it's good.
Do you think that's less prevalent among conservatives these days?
What? That they
Suicide.
you think they'd hang themselves or something? Can't do that.
I mean, the world's going their way. I mean,
It is going their way. It is. It's,
Of course, they just elected, totally to everyone's surprise, a left winger to be president of Mexico.
oh yes, yeah. He's a socialist.
Yeah,
I think that's what they. In the Herald said he was a socialist.
I don't think he calls himself a socialist.
I don't
but-
think
but,
he is a socialist.
Yeah, he wasn't expected. The thing is, actually, from what I've read, it's very hard to know what he is because apparently he ran as a strident outsider. Where do you think he got that idea? Right? And he was very unspecific about any of his programs. You know, he said all these things that he was going to do. You know, he was going to bring security to the neighborhoods and jobs and infrastructure and all these things. But he said, apparently in the whole campaign, he never gave one single specific about any of those things. I mean, I think it was the Mexican equivalent of build that wall,
Yeah.
build that wall.
Are they going to build the wall?
Hell
What do you-
no.
Wait a minute. What do you think?
They,
They already have about 700 miles of stuff, I understand, that is up already.
Well, I mean, they've had fences and
I was gonna
barriers
say,
and all that
it's
stuff.
gonna stop people.
For
You don't think that's a good idea, a wall?
No, I mean, it's not going to deter anyone.
yes, hair salad, a wonderful idea.
I saw those nice big pieces
You
of
remember how well it worked in East Germany?
a wall. Okay.
Something there is that does not like a wall, that asks what you were walling in and walling out.
Very good. Very good. You remember that.
Would you like to attribute that?
That's Peter James. No,
It's a gentleman named Robert Frost.
I don't want you to say that
You didn't want me to say it.
because it's hot. It's very hot.
It's hot and you don't want
Like
Frost on a
Frost.
hot
I don't
day.
like Frost's name at this point. Okay.
Hey, Susan, how are you? What's new with you?
Nothing much.
You haven't said a word. You've been reading the New
No,
York.
I was going to ask you something, but then you know how that happens.
Go ahead, ask.
You get the floor.
No, if you were talking about suicides, I was wondering if they found out if Anthony Bourdain, if he had left
A note
A
or
note.
anything.
Yeah.
I saw
and his book is
I
back
s-
on the bestseller
I
list.
saw an online, tease that said, the latest news on the cause of the thing, and I didn't open it. So
He
I don't
left.
know. And I think there was only a 50% chance there was actually any new information in it. But
They say he left a plate with half-eaten food on it. I don't know. You don't think that's funny?
this is the worst stromboli
No,
I ever ate. That's it.
I mean, it's just amazing how, you're saying it's up among teenagers and younger kids, actually.
Yeah.
Prepubescent. They're getting bullied in school, and nothing's really
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, bullying, another thing we can thank the internet for, somehow bullying seems to be terribly much more effective.
Yeah.
I mean, I know this sounds like I walked 12 miles through the snow uphill both ways to school, but I can't recall ever being bullied in my life. Do you have experience with being bullied?
But you know what I think kids do now? They cluster and they do it in groups.
He's right.
And
She's
it's
right.
one egg's on the other, and then it just snowballs.
And they
Right.
also do it online, which
Yes.
means everybody sees it.
Yeah. But here's the thing, my thought is somebody's calling you with this and saying, you're so ugly, you should die. Click, don't turn it on.
Yeah, right.
You know, say, doctor, it hurts when I do this. Don't do that.
Wait a minute, but they put all this stuff on that
Hey, Doc, I can only raise my hand this
social
far.
media. What
How
about
far could
that?
you raise it before? Way up here.
Yeah, but social media, Facebook, they're putting all these things on
Yeah,
there.
well, that's why I want Mark Zuckerberg in jail.
Yeah,
Thank
but I
you.
mean, you seeing these things, then just shut it off.
All right.
I know
hang up.
it's so easy. It's so easy to say, but there has to be some different psychology
Yeah.
on the thing, because if they bullied you in school when I was a kid,
Yeah.
it was maybe 2 or 3 kids who bullied you and 3 or 4 other kids who were around, and
They didn't bully
and
you.
they could only bully somebody who couldn't
Fight
answer
back.
back,
Yeah.
right? Now, the funny thing is I was really a little guy. When I was a freshman in high school, I was wrestling a 103-pound weight class,
You were
But the
smaller.
But the thing is, you had to weigh at least 180 pounds that I couldn't take you.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, on that discussion and on that note, it is now time for the big TV Unrehearsed Thespian Society's presentation. That's called Your Tongue Gets in the Way of Your Eye Teeth and You Can't See What You're Saying. From Down in the Vault. Yes, groan was the appropriate result of that. All right, so this epic is called Energetic,
Energetic.
and it's somewhat timely because it's talking about the price of gasoline, which is a current situation. I mean, I had hardly noticed how rapidly it's going up. when we now drive by and see the number 3 on the.
Why can't Venezuela sell some of all that gas? The gasoline,
Our dear friends
oil?
in Venezuela.
Yeah, okay, well, let's go. I feel
don't-
bad.
I don't think Venezuela's doing us any favors.
No, okay.
All right, action. All right, enough about gas prices.
Easy for you.
You take the bus to work.
Look, stop whining and just act.
I don't bicycle much.
President loves it.
Does he have a favorite bike?
Yeah, he does, and he keeps it in the limo's trunk.
Or takes it on Air Force One.
Ah,
All right, is this about conserving?
you started it.
Well, I liked Oliphant's cartoon today.
Who he?
What do you do on that bus?
I read a newspaper.
The editorial page?
Oh, that has too many words.
There's always a political cartoon.
So what?
Makes fun of some issue.
Why?
It's a commentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are concerned.
Since when?
Since when? His cartoon showed many people bicycling.
Oh, that's funny.
Not really hysterical.
2 bicyclists are talking.
Hey, look, it's only a drawing.
China has new energy policy, one says,
They're selling us their bikes.
and buying cars.
All right, that really kills me.
You don't get it.
Why would they sell us secondhand bikes?
Satire. Surely you know that.
Any good to drive on?
Come on, get real.
He means it.
Well, are they?
I give up.
He knows better.
It's a road race, right?
I guess. All right, okay.
You giving up?
No belly laugh there either.
The guy was making a point visually.
Look, we'll never see tons of bicyclists.
What if there's a gas shortage?
Then we'll just use sugar cane.
Ethanol, huh?
Sure, but that's a joke.
You never know.
This is America, so.
Well, we've got coal, plenty of coal.
Well, you're right. Messerschmitts flew on coal.
World War II, Nazis refined it for petrol.
Yeah, you mean gas.
Coal pollutes, though.
But it's better than bicycling.
Bad for our environment.
Buses have to run on something.
Natural gas, diesel.
Hey, you remember the Stanley steamer
That's true, yeah.
and coal-burning locomotives?
Smoke can poison you.
But this is 2018, isn't it?
American ingenuity can help.
So we stop importing foreign oil.
So we import Chinese bicycles.
I don't find that the least bit humorous.
It's whimsical.
He doesn't know what that means.
Wise guy.
There's electric power.
Just keep changing AAA batteries.
No, you can plug the car in at night.
But the power plant runs on fossil fuel.
Oh, yeah? What about solar power?
Very good.
Bicyclists all carrying solar power panels.
The cartoon would have to be bigger.
Yep. But the Chinese would be happy to sell us the panels.
That's not amusing.
The White House with a sign on it.
Property of China.
Another cartoon, I suppose.
I think he's getting the idea.
Public transportation needs power too.
Well, there was a time I used to walk a lot.
Running used to be healthy.
And then your feet bothered you.
I know. I'll buy a horse.
Very conservative.
Keep the animal in your garage.
I don't have a garage,
Keeping a horse in the city is difficult.
but I like horses.
You'll need a special license.
Anyway, Dobbin eats oats.
Back to nature is helpful.
Dobbin will leave plenty of fertilizer around.
And I'll be able to do gardening.
With Dobbin's help.
Not much land left.
You already built a stable.
But oil companies say they're finding more oil.
He's changing his tune.
Taking care of a horse can be expensive.
You know, I'm getting the message.
There's no free lunch.
Yeah, and all the gas pumps are made of gold.
Blackout.
Well, you know, there are those bicycles that they have around the city. If you know that they take them up in November.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
looks like they got a new company. Because the other
Okay.
ones were called something Hub. Now there's some new ones that are blue and green. That,
Oh, really? Somebody
Yeah.
else? Yeah,
Oh.
you sign up for them and then you go on your phone and I don't know how it works, but you take them and then you leave them not necessarily at the same
No,
place
right.
you picked them up on another place. It's good. We keep trying. I mean, most of the rest of the world has a much higher percentage of people getting around on bicycles.
Have you been swimming lately?
Have I been swimming lately?
Yeah.
No, I have not been swimming lately.
This is
Why,
a-
can I rent a life raft?
Yes, will you pump it up for him?
Yeah.
Oh,
My bicycle pump.
well, you can go.
Right.
Is L Street still operating?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And the brownies
And the
are still
brownies
out
is still January 1st.
But they don't go in July.
No.
They don't, that's right, they don't. I think, do you think kids are all learning how to swim? It's a very dangerous time of the year, you know.
Not enough of them.
It's
are.
interesting. Remember a few years ago where the camp down there, the kid drowned
Yeah.
and things
Yeah,
like
it was
that.
very
and it
bad, yeah.
Kind of put a bit of a halt on those programs. We had to, before we got our high class Ivy League degrees, we had to pass a swimming test. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
I don't know if they still do that.
They still, well, I don't, you're right.
What do you mean, Harvard?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
I thought you meant in wherever it was you went to high
Do
school.
you think Bacow can swim?
No, in order to graduate from Harvard, you had to pass a swimming
That's
test,
right,
wow.
you did.
which was very interesting for the kids from Minnesota and
That's right, yeah.
Montana and stuff like that. You know, it's amazing how many of my classmates got to Harvard and didn't know how to swim.
I used to take a lot of kids over to this pool in Boston, and
The West End house.
well, no,
no, different?
This was, I won't give the name of it.
Okay.
I'd be saying bad things about some of the people that worked there, because when they saw all the kids I were bringing, the pool suddenly developed malfunctionings, all kinds of
We have to close it. The filter's not working.
yeah,
etc.
yeah. Then
Was it because they were kids, or did they happen to have a color problem?
both.
Oh. Well, you know, it's funny because when I taught at a school that was near Eccleston Station, and my colleague and I, we did a lot of field trips and used the MBTA. And they would see us coming, and the guy, you could hear the guy go, "It's them again."
It's them again.
And he just opened the gate and go through. And the kid, because we'd say, "Have your dimes ready," and I'd say, "Why don't you let them put them in?" He says, "Because you clog the machine up every time, lady. Just go." And they would send us on our way. So the kids would say, "They always let us just go. Why do we?" I said, "Because if your supervisor's there, we got to make sure that we pay." And so we did have some nice MBTA guys that
All right,
just
that's good.
for my little kids going on the field trip to the Museum of Science and things.
You gave them a crash course in real world ethics.
Have your dimes ready. I mean, it was funny because he could see us coming down the street and he'd say, you could hear him go, "It's them again." And he was
All right.
referring
So
to
here's my
son.
question,
Yeah.
Susan.
Yeah.
If the guys waved you through, did the kids keep the dimes?
Yeah, they kept the dimes. And
That's good.
And they would, they'd spend it at the museum. Well, they'd spend it at the museum, or they made
You
sure they
could
had enough because coming back they had
I don't
to
know
pay.
how long ago this was, but you might have been able to get a popsicle for that or something.
Yeah.
you know?
Yes, you could do. But just a little reminder that the week of July, after that week,
The 9th.
tell us.
The 9th, they're going to do. This facility will be closed.
The
So
9th
there
and
will be
6th,
no.
and
There will be no
people are
fun.
cheering when you just said that.
There will be no live fun show. They're probably
There
going
will
to.
be no live fun show next week. A large part of our staff here is off to, what is it, Germany?
Yeah.
Oh,
Jawohl.
all right.
Jawohl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
The land of the
because-
Deutschmarks.
because our people here are developing quite a substantial reputation in the field of virtual reality.
That's right.
And we're proud of them.
Okay.
And so we won't be here next week. We hope to be somewhere the week after that. It's a little catch as catch can.
Yeah. Because the elevator's being ripped out.
Yes, the only thing that's holding it down, to tell you the truth, folks, is that the elevator's being replaced in this building. We're on the, what are we? We're on
third
what they
floor.
call the third
Third
floor,
floor.
which is essentially the fourth floor.
Yeah.
And here's the sad truth. I and Michael can't walk up 4 flights of stairs.
No, no.
I only have one real knee.
And we tried crawling last year, but it didn't help.
Crawling upstairs is not all
There
that
were
good.
people
Play
there-
it, my friend.
Oh, no, is it time?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
night, Irene. Good night, Irene. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. We'll see you in our dreams.
But not next week.
Good night, Irene. Good night, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks back here for the fun show
Right.
on Big TV.
Thanks again, everybody.